Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the second series of the day in the Maincast Winter Brawl, sponsored by GGBet. We've got some CIS action coming up. We have Nemiga versus FlyToMoon. And we also have someone with me. He's not necessarily right here next to me, but can you hear me, Mr. Killer Pigeon?
What? I can't hear anything. The production put me in a rave room for like 20 minutes, and I think I've lost hearing in one of my ears.
In a rave room? That's... what?
I think the Twitch chat was in the same room, but I had it louder.
I hope they're paying you enough for that, but what do you think about these two teams? Does your brain work after all the rave, at least?
I think I actually gained 25 MMR after beating that room. And I
25.
Can tell you, 25. It's a start.
That's
right,
more than you. One. That's more than you earned in the last 2 months. So, well,
to be honest, buddy, let's not talk about gains and losses for you in the last few months, huh?
Well, listen,
I've
been on a bad streak, but I'll come back. I promise. Once I start focusing again.
You're like one of those people that invests all their life savings in the stock market. It's like, hey, you know, the stock market's just down today. We'll make a recovery tomorrow.
Yeah, but I have some inside information that you actually don't know about, and I will come back very soon.
Oh,
it's gonna
okay. Well, I have some inside information for you. If you want to win your games, you spam Doom right now. We saw it in the last series, and we see it again.
And you know what? FlyToMoon and Nemiga Gaming, they're both CIS teams. Nemiga, I believe, mostly from Belarus. FlyToMoon, Ukraine, Russia, whatever. What I want to say is, FlyToMoon, they're the old school pack. They're the old wolves. You have Syoma the Slayer, you have Muha, or Always Wanna Fly, you have Iceberg. V-Tune kinda new, and General also pretty old school. On the Nemiga, you have these boys that are really, really eager to win. You have these boys that haven't won pretty much anything, ever, you know. So they want to prove themselves. You have Fervian, Mellow Jewel, Chosen One, Astral, and Nefrit. And none of these names really ring a bell for anyone. They have been around forever. I remember this Fervian guy playing in some 4K stacks like a bazillion years ago, and he's improved. He's here. He's in the tier 1 scene, or tier 2, tier 3, whatever you want to call this game. Probably not tier 1 low, but it's strong enough. It's good enough.
So you're saying there's a chance I can become pro too?
No. For you, I don't think there's a chance.
It's not too late. I'm not getting too old, you know. All right, step one.
It's not about being old or not being old. It's about having talent or not. I don't see it in you, but you're very talented as a caster. As a caster, you're insane. There you go. I think you should stick to that, though. Just stick to that, okay?
You too, honey. All right, take up multiple or some stuff.
Hey! Damn it!
I'm not saying you're only a pretty face, but
oh, damn it. But let's talk about the draft instead, okay?
Yeah,
let's go over the draft.
One thing I was going to say quickly as well is, like, looking at these two teams, you mentioned, like, you got the old and the new. And one thing I've seen from Nemiga is they have individually very talented cores that aren't afraid to give way. So, like, Mello, he has these huge kind of pop-off plays. Chosen One is incredibly stable in the off-lane. And Nefrit has been one of the most interesting people to watch this tournament because he's kind of given a masterclass to the viewers on how to stretch the limits of your hero without dying. I think is the best way to word it. He's incredibly good at min-maxing what he can get out of a fight and then waddling away on like 5% HP, having 2 kills to his name.
What I always see about teams such as Nemiga Gaming that have these pub stacks, that are basically these pub stacks, right? Players from pubs that haven't necessarily done a whole lot in the pro scene, is that they bring some sort of innovation in their draft. Or, if not innovation, cheese. They bring a lot of cheese. They bring a lot of drafts that are basically, you know, one-trick ponies. You get these Bloodseekers, you get these Meepos and heroes such as that. But Nemiga Gaming so far have drafted in a very stable way. You have Clock Lich on the offlane perhaps, or Clock Rubik, and then Bloodseeker Lich on the safe lane. The only hero that stands out here a bit more is the Bloodseeker, right? He can definitely go out of control, but he's not necessarily a cheese pick anymore, as he's a very common pick in the current meta. Against them on FlyToMoon, you see instantly that this is your standard FlyToMoon draft. Absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. If you told me to guess what heroes they would pick, I would guess Phantom Lancer and Doom at least, and then Storm perhaps, or OD for Iceberg. And yeah, they went that way. They went the stable way. They went back to their roots. This is what they've been drafting for 2-3 years now. Yeah, FlyToMoon hasn't been around for much longer, and they have made some changes to their roster, but it's pretty much the same deal with them all the time.
And we've seen a little bit of switch. I think Wind Ranger was rammed by Iceberg yesterday or the day before. So they have a little bit of flex, but PL was definitely the one that's always been there. Even when Silent was back on the team, it was their staple pick. And I like the way they round this out with the Venomancer against this lineup.
Yeah, you get that anti-healer. It could work pretty well versus the Bloodseeker as well, right? Venomancer, there is a chance for Clockwork to get that hook and get on top of him and just feed on the Venom. That can also happen. Venomancer is a pretty solid hero, and there's no heroes that have built-in mobility, right? There's no blinks built in or some ways of getting on top of him. But when you have something like a Clock versus you, it can backfire, this Venom pick. But I have to agree with you, I think it is a solid pick. They have pretty much everything they need. They're a bit lacking on stuns, but they do have catch. You have Winter Wyvern, obviously, you have Doom if he gets a stun, and you have Storm Spirit to zip back on the backlines on this Rubik or the Lich and take care of them. So it's a decent draft from FlyToMoon. Nothing really out of the ordinary for them, besides this Venomancer, which does stand out a little bit.
Yeah, like I feel it can bridge some gaps in the lineup in terms of like the big team fight, right? Wyvern definitely underrated at the moment. My concern would be on the lane though, because Bloodseeker definitely one of the better heroes against Veno because Gale is offset by first, and also the Blood Right, right? Like Venomancer is so slow you can never dodge the Blood Right.
What do you think about this Alchemist pick though? I mean, overall Melojoul, you said that he can pop off, he can win the game on his own, and Alchemist is always scary as last, but man, I just wonder, what do you think? Will Nefrit be mid or Melojoul?
I think this will be Melojoul mid because I feel like the Bloodseeker matches up better against the Veno in the offlane.
So you're thinking Alchemist will be mid versus Storm?
Yeah.
The problem with that is Storm just free farms. He even punishes him quite hard on that lane, and then Storm starts hunting him in the jungle. And because of that, Alchemist can be a pretty terrible pick here. Unless Melojoul knows something that we don't. I have seen some Alchemists pretty much stomp the games yesterday, but that's when they don't have these heroes that really can exploit the fact that Alchemist can't threaten them in the mid game, in the mid lane at least.
That's the thing I'm wondering, because also the Alch seems like a good pick from the perspective that FlyToMoon's draft is a bit slower when you look at all their cores, right? Like Storm Spirit wants to get to 12, PL doesn't want to fight early, and Venomancer is a very greedy offlane.
No, at least what they do have is Storm that can jump on top of him early on, and you have Venomancer that has a reworked Poison Sting, right? So you can deal with his region as well. And I don't know how much Bloodseeker will be able to do versus him in that safe lane if every Gale connects. But it can be pretty hairy for that Venomancer if Bloodseeker just gets on top of him easily.
Yeah, I think whenever you take a Bloodseeker, the thing you're really looking for is lanes, and it looks like it will be Nefra in the out lane, so they are keeping to that. But you're looking for lanes that can aggress a lot. The Alch won't really apply much pressure, so it's really on this Clockwork to keep the enemy heroes low and maximize the punishment onto this PL in the bot lane.
So what you're saying is that they need a fat Clock. The Clock needs to be fat, right?
Yeah.
He needs to have a good lane.
Yeah, I'm not saying big is always better, but having a big Clock tends to help a lot.
I love this mini-map, by the way, and what they're writing.
What are they like? Are they writing or drawing? It was kind of a mix there.
It was a little bit of a flame there, going someone's way. I'm not gonna flame anyone. People would say that I'm the one that's making it up. There you go. A little bit of drawing right now.
I don't know if you can call that drawing.
You know that game. You know that game in which you have to color as many. No, just color as much as possible in your color, and who has the most area in their color, they win. That's what they're doing. That's what they're trying to do.
Okay, so emulating being a 5-year-old with a coloring book.
Exactly, pretty much.
I done that when I was 5. Yeah.
So what's happening with these lanes? Alchemist will be mid, right? Oh, the odds, however, on GGBet 3 for Nemiga, 1.35 for FlyToMoon. People don't believe in Nemiga that much, actually.
No, Nemiga, it's a bit hard to measure because FlyToMoon, I'd say, they've had more games and they looked a bit more dominant in the later games. Whereas Nemiga, a lot of what they got was riding on that 1-0 over OG Seed, which doesn't give you much of a sample group to work.
Yeah, but they dominated OG Seed in
They
that
did.
game, remember? Why do I see Aghanims on Clockwork? Do you see it as well?
On Clockwork?
I mean, under his icon on top.
No, he hasn't got. You mean like as if he's got an Agnum's blessing? I don't see that,
exactly. It must be some small bug for us that are watching the stream, but all right, interesting. Clock already has an Aghanims level 1.
Now I understand. Wait, now I don't understand the odds. He has an Aghanims blessing, guys. Come on, that's 4K net worth already. Best farming speed of an Ag's clock ever.
No, that's also pretty good when you're having an alchemist with so many heroes that can... Oh, there you go. That's a decent career to kill.
Yeah, I spoke just casually, very chavantly walked under tower and done that. Mello was not really paying attention. As we see so often from cores, General in the top lane is being ran down here, but you don't have level 2. I think once you have level 2, Veno struggles in this lane a lot, because then you have the first, right? So I think most of the builds I've seen so far, Bloodseekers, usually you get a point in Blood Right, then you max out first and maybe get a point in Blood Rage at 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you go about that lane. And Bloodseeker is scary to play against when you're a Venomancer, as he can get on top of you. But there is a Doom as well, so it's a kind of a lane that can go both ways. If Bloodseeker gets that first kill, he can just roll out of control, and Venomancer can't even come to the lane. Another courier for Slayer, perhaps. Another one? Nah, he doesn't go for the second. And also this Bloodseeker will always have Lich's armor on him, so he will be able to get on top. Oh, that's a nice play by Fervian. Cancels General, I believe that was a salve or a clarity, with the Frost Shield on the creep. Pretty well played.
Nice little play. Slayer has put down a ward, which we're seeing really typically from the Dooms at the moment, where they just try and get vision on the creeps, and he's pretty upset with the options right now. He can take the Kobold, which isn't bad.
The creeps, and also the couriers, right? When you have boots, when you start with boots on Doom, getting... Oh, Nefrit doesn't use that TP properly. Infernal Blade messed with him. That's the first blood, right there.
Yeah, you don't expect it. Like, Dooms, typically they're going to take Scorched Earth and the Devour by 2. Like, you don't usually level into a Infernal Blade until 3 or 4.
Yeah, but that's so good. That's basically why you shouldn't skill, like, until you really have to. You should never take a skill until you really have to. Especially on level 1 when you're running for runes or something like that. But even in this stage, later on, if you save for that Infernal Blade, he tries to TP, suddenly you get a kill.
Yep. And it gives you good advantage in this lane. It doesn't admittedly mean you probably won't have 2 points in Scorched Earth by 3, and that's what Nemiga should be aware of. But very good start for FlyToMoon.
Yeah, but you had Bloodseeker that ported. Oh.
And General's just dead.
That's a good
They just
counter
ignore the
kill.
Doom. Slayer actually has to run. They could easily just deny right now, but he doesn't even want it. He just wants to kill the Slayer instead. Double kill for Nefra.
That's perfect for him. Like, it looked like that lane is over, but he comes back and just gets 2 kills. Amazing for him. An amazing comeback. I thought that... Oh, bottom lane Astral. He might fall here too. Can they get him?
Yeah, but they're being slowed down. Spirit Lance gonna come out, and the Rush Forward will get it with the Illusion.
That last hit from the Illusion, just before it disappears, gets him. Yeah, that top lane was salvaged for Bloodseeker there by Lich, so well played by them to come back into the game. Venomancer and Doom could have been a little bit more careful there. As Bloodseeker, not only did he die, he didn't have a TP to get back into the lane. So the game was over for him, as long as they didn't do what they just did. Also, another really difficult thing that's happening right now for Nemiga is this mid lane that's being crushed. But Venomancer again. General.
Trouble. Will be brought down.
He needs Doom.
This combo is so strong. Lich plus Bloodseeker, because like even a normal offlaner, right, will never get out of the Blood Right because of the slows. The Veno is just screwed.
I just can't agree with what Slayer is doing right now. Always want to fly. I can't agree with this as well, but perhaps they can get Astral. Astral.
He will go down, but this one gets the kill first.
Yeah. Basically, Slayer is rotating around mid. Check the CS, please. Look at Storm. Look at Alchemist. 31
there's
to
no
16.
reason to be here.
You really don't have to punish that Alchemist any harder. Storm is destroying his ass already. So you should just chill and help out the Veno on top. Look at this. He might even get the solo kill here.
Yeah, he's not just destroying his ass, it's pulling him into the ground. I don't know if he can quite get this. With the salve, he could try and dive further, but it's hurting too much, and Fervian has rotated in.
Has to be careful.
Back.
Fervian is actually going for the kill here. With the
Yeah,
frost
he's really
shield.
close enough. He's got the gaze. We had to drag him in.
Oh!
He's committed too hard now. He's going to turn around
Debated.
an iceberg. Beats him in. Fervian, what are you doing?
Ah, he didn't see the courier. Like, I can't blame him for that. Like, he just got debated by iceberg. The courier was flying in with the fairy fire. He turns and he just pulls him in. He couldn't have seen that coming, so. And also, you see a storm with no mana, low HP, you really want that kill, so you greed out as a 5.
You also kind of bait yourself with the whole idea your damage reduction was like, oh, Frost Shield will allow me to dive a tower with 2 armor.
Yeah.
Not quite, buddy.
Yeah, but in any case, Alchemist has been pretty much stomped to the ground by Storm. And that's usually what happens on that lane. At least he didn't die, at least he didn't feed. Slayer at the same time has helped out Venomancer a little bit, and right now we have 3 cores of FlyToMoon on top of network charts.
It's getting a little bit concerned. I also like the fact that Slayer took the Ice Armor this game because it makes it very hard for Bloodseeker to jump on the Veno when the Doom's nearby.
That armor is amazing with Veno on the lane, right? So many instances of slows, of just a nasty lane to be in if you're Nemiga.
Yeah. And you just can't trade effectively at that point. To be honest, you want to be trading because you have this Bloodseeker. You won't be amped up on the first.
At least you have Lich. And with a lot of mana on him,
What?
he can just continue spamming targets.
Alright, Chosen One try to go in here. It feels like this Clockwork isn't achieving much, but the beautiful thing about Clockwork is you just reach 6 and then you just start getting active on the map. So he could still have a big impact. I'm a bit concerned about good lockdown for this Storm earlier.
Mellow Jewel, Iceberg, there is an ulti on Alchemist, so this is a difficult kill. Fervian has rotated in and Iceberg might be baited here. By the way,
he'll back up in time. That's Slayer rotate.
I don't know what to tell you about that clock. He was picked way too early, and now even when he has 6, look at the heroes he's playing against. There's Wyvern, there's PL, there's Storm. That's 3 targets that you can't kill with hookshot already. That's 3 targets that just fly away. They just get out. Like, what you gonna do against them?
Yeah, I agree. The problem with Clockwork right now is he doesn't feel viable as a 4, right? So once you play it into your draft, it has to be the offlaner. It just feels a little bit too weak to play the 4 role.
And it has been for... it's been like that for a really long time. Clockwork just isn't a hero for a long time.
They've done some nice buffs, right, around his hook shot, so like you can actually be more active, but that happens at your level 2 hook shot. And there's a huge gap between the start of the game and level 12.
Fervian being down by Slayer, but Slayer just decides not to go under the tier 2. I mean, hookshot got buffed. Maybe 3 or 4 months ago, Battery Assault also got buffed, so it doesn't have a cast point. You just instantly start... rockets just instantly start going off of you. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that happened in his favor, but nothing really helps.
Chosen One, does he always want to fly? He's thinking about going for the hook shot, turn around and force the ball lining out. The lift is going to be there. It doesn't last long enough, and they're blocking Chosen One here. Slayer, bodyguards across. He says, don't worry, Mr. President. You're safe.
But it was Iceberg that made that happen. If you noticed, he had an illusion rune, and he was blocking the Clockwork with the illusion while he was moving back, so securing himself after the ball lightning has been committed.
Extremely worrying start, though. You're already behind on every lane, and one of your lanes has an Alchemist. This is a hero that should be close or at the top of the net worth chart right now.
At the same time, he hasn't died, right? They haven't really played around the Alchemist a lot. They haven't made too many stacks for him. Perhaps 1 stack was taken by him so far. But it is an Alchemist, and if he starts popping off right now, if he starts farming until like 14-15 minute mark and he gets Radiance by then, things could look a bit better for Nemiga.
It's true, and they definitely have good heroes to make space at the Alch, right? With the Bloodseeker and the Clockwork.
Yeah, and how he's doing right now? 1300 gold, 10 minutes in. It's not perfect. This Radiance could be done a lot sooner, but it's fine. We have a smoke from Nemiga and they are trying to make a play around that tier 1 on bottom. Just a standard play. When you have Clockwork, it's so much better to rotate to him. When he's a core, that is. Mellow Jewel? Oh,
There's one's moving in. He needs to stop them from taking this right now. Rupture comes out. Nefra is jumping straight onto V2. They'll be able to bring him down. They do lose Alk in the meantime, solo to Iceberg. But they at least ensure that they can try and take this outpost. It looks like they will be able to. So they do lose Chosen One for the trouble, though.
that looked like it's a decent rotation by Nemiga, but in the end, they do get their Alchemist.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah.
They're going to lose a lot more. Iceberg. Time again for FlyToMoon. This is the man to watch as he rotates in.
Deny?
You got to pick off them all. No deny for you. Just a triple kill for the Storm Spirit.
He did try.
Level 12.
Yeah, he did try to deny, but it's the game in which Storm has a completely free game on mid lane. Sometimes, yeah, Storm has to wait because he's underfarmed. At this point, he has 2 null talismans and a bottle, and that's pretty much it, right? But in a game in which you have, in which you have Kaya, 2 null talismans and power stress this minute in, of course you're gonna be dominating. Of course you're gonna be rotating, getting triple kills. And you know, Nemiga, they do have some ways of dealing with him. They have Sinister Gaze, they have Lift from Rubik, but it's easier said than done.
For that. Yeah, they're weak at this stage in the game.
Odds
because
are,
they're weak, FlyToMoon will look to pounce.
Yeah, odds are representing that completely on GG.bet. Nemiga 6.21, FlyToMoon 1.10.
Yeah, blame Iceberg for those odds going against you if you were hoping to put a bet onto FlyToMoon right now.
Then again, in that last fight, we weren't completely paying attention, but PL did fall, so we didn't talk about it that much. But PL is the one that's suffering while Storm is doing well, and he's kind of on par as Alchemist, but that's great for a PL, right? If you have as much farm as the enemy Alchemist, you're happy with that.
Yeah, you're really content. And also because Veno done so well and gets more gold off those rotations, you now have the Spirit Vessel online already at 12 minutes in.
So you're gonna have Spirit Vessel on Venomancer, and you have Poison Sting maxed out versus Alchemist. This Alchemist needs to be KB before he's online. So Radiance is pretty much what's going to allow him to farm a bit better, but it's not going to put him online. He won't be able to fight, or shouldn't be at least able to.
No, so now the pressure is on FlyToMoon to try and strip away these tier 1 towers in the next 2-3 minutes and make sure that Alk doesn't feel safe farming. What they want to do is they are just amassing an army of Plague Wars. However, because Rubik stole it as well, it's a back and forth battle here for tier 1 bot. And they're playing her on top. Slayer does have Doom, and Clockwork isn't a bad target, but they don't really have the control to just convert it into a kill.
Perhaps you can just dive mindlessly, but they can't TP in with the Lich, with the Rubik, or the Bloodseeker and counterplay that, so Clockwork might not be the best idea. Maybe not the best hero to go for.
Bloodseeker is going straight for the BKB. He must at least have completed the milk. No, he doesn't. He doesn't decide to go for farm until Nefert realizes he just has to fight as soon as possible.
Can't blame him.
Not we see this.
In this game versus Vano and all of these heroes, Maelstrom would be pretty solid of a pickup, but even something like Drums BKB seems to be the better option. I think it's one
on the bot. Wyvern has been found.
At the same time,
on top.
Yeah, there's a hook on Venomancer, but
yeah, but are you down with him? Chosen One will be able to TP away. No one was here to assist Veno. Ball lining in. We'll pick up a kill on a Fervian afterwards, though, as Iceberg didn't want to miss out on the action.
Yeah, it's one of basically what we talked about before, right? You have this Clockwork that's able to get on top of the Venomancer and doesn't need a blink for that. And that's why he's so good. He doesn't care about Plague Wards. You can get hit by them and you'll still get on top of Veno. And you'll be able to take him down.
Nice little move from Slayer there. He interrupted a mellow stack, so a lot of gold missed out on for the Alk as well. Just these little plays, these little slowdowns, that ensure that the key part of Nemiga's draft is slower to be online.
He is about to pick up that Radiance, but this is what I talked about. He's gonna get it like 14-15 minute mark, right? And that's definitely not a solid timing. He did take top of the network charts right now. He's leading in gold, but it's an Alchemist. He's supposed to be doing that. Now we have to wait for him to get a couple of more items, like at least a BKB, I believe. V-Tune, however, he's almost ready. He's gonna have his Manta, Diffusal.
I'd like to see him go and finish the Diffu first, actually. Feels pretty good in this game. A lot of heroes with small mana pools that you can punish.
It allows you to be more active, and also at the same time it leaves you more susceptible to ganks, right? They can kill you off easier. Nefrit with the silence as well. If there's lift into silence, you're suddenly dead. So I wouldn't mind the Manta, just because you already have the Storm that's creating so much space for you. But if he opts to go just balls to the wall, right, and you go for that diffusal, then you can just fight Nemiga and perhaps crush them in the mid game completely.
Yeah, it's fair. I think the way to look at it as well is now that he's probably going to see the second component, the BKB on Nefrit, he realizes actually Diffu, it has less value now. I can't just chase down the Bloodseeker easily with it because he'll have the magic immunity.
Yeah, there's that as well, exactly.
All in all, though, Nemiga have done a good job of stemming the bleeding. Like, towers are still standing. They've only lost the tier 1 top so far. I wonder if FlyToMoon are content sitting back and farm like that, because you don't mind that you're Storm and you got this PL for the late game, but you are giving space now to the Alchemists. Yeah. A little bit of time for them to get their big items.
I believe they're actually doing this well. I see this often mentioned by different casters, streamers, like why aren't they crushing them right now? They should be diving them, stomping, winning the game right now. Sometimes when you get a good advantage in the early game, in the laning stage, the best thing that you can do is sit on it. Just chill, farm up, and then when you get those big items, then make a move. Because if this Storm continues diving them, suddenly they kill him just by sheer spells. And then what did he do? He just threw everything he got in the laning stage and after it. So it's good that they chilled out, even though they're playing versus an Alchemist, because who's following that Alchemist? It's 3 cores of Radiant. So as long as they don't give him way too much space, because everyone knows what can happen.
Yeah, exactly. This is my worry, though. They've given a little bit too much. They've given space now that Bloodseeker has the BKB. And this is where you could see them make a play. Mello is 1,000 gold out from his BKB, so preferably you wait for that, and then you go with a double BKB at 10-second timing.
Look at this, though. They smoked up, they're going deep, and they also have a very aggressive item on PL. We talked about this. He finished the diffusal.
They're pretty stacked as well. The hookshot whiffed already. Slayer jumps in with the Doom straight out into Bloodseeker. No BKB for you. The Wiz Curse coming out to keep control of Alchemist on the side. Just running through and killing off Fervian. It'll be brought down already. The Doom was thrown out and returned on Storm Spirit, and they're chasing onto him right now. Bloodseeker is wrapping around the 4-staff. It 4-staffs him into the arms of Bloodseeker, though. Mistake has been made, and now Storm, that lead you were talking about, is going to be thrown away. The Cold Embrace won't protect against the Blood Right. It's a triple kill already for Feedsoon as he runs down Nemiga's back line. Now forced to fight with these 2 cores. Can they do enough? This BKB from Nefrit needs to actually get a dividend. Double kill already. Looking for more right now. The Blood Right goes down once more. Feedsoon chasing in. He doesn't want to fight this anymore. This River's going to come out. Nefrit trying to stay alive is going to chase on the general and get the easy kill. But in the end, it is in fact Feedsoon who comes out ahead.
Yeah, that's an ultra kill for Bloodseeker, but at the same time, Feedsoon on the other hand got, I believe, a triple or something. He did fairly well for himself too. And you do take down the Alchemist, but you see like these small mistakes that you do and suddenly the Storm that was super in front dies. Fervian. Alright.
Whoa, boy.
Alright.
Wrong neighborhood.
Rubik? Really?
He's completing this TP? I mean, okay. B2 will just back up now because Clockwork is alive. The lift's going to be there.
They have got the hook shot.
He hasn't got a doppelganger for 3 seconds. I think you're right. They can get him. Hook shot through. Needs to escape, but too late. Too greedy.
Alright. Astral with the bait right there. He was thinking, what are these guys? Are they crazy? Lich ports in first, dies. Now, oh, Storm. Guess the
Iceberg wants those Bloodstone charges.
Overall, all things said and done, I believe that's a small victory for FlyToMoon because of the fact that PL got so much out of that fight, like, what, 1,000 gold or something? Maybe even 1,500?
Yeah, and I think the kind of, in hindsight, part of this draft right now is Slayer needs to get his hands on a Blink quickly because he needs to have the ability to jump in Doom and then use any other spell. Otherwise, we see what happens when Rubik's in the neighborhood.
Yeah, the way you deal with that is you get a Centaur. That's it. You get a Centaur so that you... Or some other creep that has an instant cast. You can't carry Frost Armor and think that you're gonna use it after Doom. Or at least use Scorched Earth, right? You have that option as well.
But that's the problem, right? Because at this stage of the game, you're using Scorched Earth to initiate. Yeah. That's why the Blink is so crucial for this hero in this type of game.
And odds are swinging a little bit in Nemiga's favor. They're down to 4.99 now. They're no longer in the 8 numbers or whatever, so it's alright. It's a bit better.
Alright, they've stemmed the bleeding in the game, and now they've stemmed the bleeding in the odds, but it's still in favor of FlyToMoon. You can see they're starting to play around this top area of the map as they have the intention of going towards Roche soon, because they are at a point where PL does a lot of damage and Storm does a lot of damage in that pit.
They do, and they definitely do get a lot out of the Roshan with that Aegis, right? On Storm, perhaps, suddenly he can just jump on any target, but I'm not so certain they have enough damage for the pit, especially when you're playing versus a Clock who can check it all the time. PL and Storm,
they need a pick-off first.
Yeah, they need a pick-off, and even then it's difficult to take this Rosh that easily for them. They need one more item and a good team fight, I believe. Let's see. Can they defend this tier 2 on the bottom lane? No, Iceberg is already there, and they're circling around him. Oh!
Oh no!
Alright, yeah, that's just happened.
Not fun to see here, folks. Yep, there was an idea by Nemiga. They decided to not commit any spells whatsoever to the gank attempt, and they haven't got hookshot on cooldown now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fervian stood there a little bit in the way of the Clockwork, blocked the hookshot, but I'm wondering if they actually had what it takes to take down that Storm, even if the hookshot connects, because he was very deep. He was behind the trees. Maybe if Rubik has the blink, does he?
No.
No? So
no idea. He's got a clumsy net,
yeah.
But that would take too long, I think.
It's because he was on the stairs and Storm was next to the trees. It was a difficult kill. I don't think they would have gotten that. So it was all planned by Lich. He's stopping his suicidal clock. That's what he's doing. He's like, chill out, bro.
He's disobeying his captain. I don't know if that's the way to go, but Chosen One, because it's such a low cooldown, does have the hook shot again. Captains lead the charge, and let's see who's going to enter on. Always want to fly as the target. Grabs onto him, but he has the burn to try and fly away. He will use it, but this case locks him in. They do get themselves an easy kill.
And they get themselves the kill that they actually have to get at the start of a fight, right? Because if you don't kill that Wyvern, he can break down the fight in two with Winter's Curse, so it's good that they take him down first. BKB and Maelstrom completed on Bloodseeker, by the way, so he definitely does dish out quite a lot of damage. Now we have the BKB and the Radiance and the Blink on Alchemist, and for Nemiga, they crawl themselves back into the game. I believe they can take these next team fights, and it all comes down to how they played them.
Yeah, I think it's a jump first for both, right? Like, you want the Clockwork in with a hookshot on a good target. Meanwhile, on the other side, FlyToMoon, they now have the Orchid sitting on the Storm, and they're getting closer to the Blink for Slayer.
The Orchid, though, you're playing versus these BKBs, the cores aren't really going to be too affected by that. It's the Rubik and the Lich that have to really worry about it, about that Orchid.
Yeah, you can still use it on the Clockwork for a while. He's going for the Lotus Orb, but still a decent margin out from it.
Has a force, though. That's a little bit that helps him. Melojo?
However, Doom straight away on a Melojo. No kill for them.
That's
no
good.
chance at still turn around either.
That's a decent kill for them. Bloodstone charge for Storm Spirit. Doom used, though. So they have to be very careful in this next minute and a half once Alchemist respawns. General.
They don't think they need to be careful. They're going in pretty deep. General has the force stuff to try and escape. He's not going to use it just yet. They can't get the poison over out. He's still silenced up and chased onto. Can he at least hit R? He will towards the end, but his backline has already been disintegrated. This looks bad for Chosen One now. Needs to get out. Trying to escape. The Winner's Curse was there under Bloodseeker. Nefra is going to die as well. They thought they had the jump, but Venno, it's one of those heroes, right?
He wants
you walk into a choke point, you want to be hit in the face.
Exactly, he wants to be attacked like that. And I was saying they should be careful in a minute and a half because I thought they will be passive. And Nemiga, once the Alchemist respawns, they'll try to fight, right? But instead of doing that, they realize, all right, they don't have Alchemist for 50, let's just go. General leads the charge. Yeah, he dies, but he creates a perfect opportunity for them to clean up. And did you see the way PL and Storm play? It's perfect. Everyone is going on Venno. At the same time, PL and Storm are just jumping on poor Lich and poor Rubik and taking them down. Well, always gonna fly. He's gonna pay the price here.
Yeah, he stopped flying and now he started dying. But it's an insignificant kill in the grand scheme of things. You still have FlyToMoon's cause not being hindered at all. And now he'll also having that basher online. Just a lot more control starting to come into FlyToMoon's draft as they start to get these items online.
Yeah, I think FlyToMoon, they're definitely on point. Oh, Chosen One steals that bounty. Pushes him away, but yeah, Storm is fine. Iceberg is going to get the other bounty rune in the end. FlyToMoon, they're playing well. They're doing everything they can. They're playing on point, but at the same time, it feels like this game can just get away from them super easily if Nemiga gets a couple of team fights properly.
That's true. And also now you have the Paladin sword on VTune. So it doesn't matter he doesn't have this heart. It feels like PL's almost unkillable now in this game.
Yeah, he definitely is a problem. Both of them are. The PL and the Storm. You need a lot of catch for those two boys. You need a lot of control for them.
And they're smoked. They're going to try and lock down and target here. However, there's more than they bargained for because look at the wraparound. They're now the meat and the sandwich. They don't want to be like this. They jump in. The Winner's Curse comes out. Counter the stun thrown out by Alk. He's already lost his Rubik. Silence out the clockwork as well. Melody might have to use the BKB just to run away. Slayer jumps in the stomp and the Doom comes out. He doesn't use his BKB and now he's in a lot of trouble. Chosen One's going to die in the meantime. The buyback from Rubik will not achieve enough. He doesn't have the control for this many heroes. Iceberg is out of mana, so Astral won't die back. The two targets already found that really mattered, and Rubik's buyback already forced.
Will they get more, or will they go into the pit? That's the question now. Perhaps even a tier 2 is an option for them, no?
Instantly. Why not both?
Yeah, but if you have an option to go for tier 2 or the pit, you go into the pit, because after you have that Aegis, the tier 2 is easy, right? You have an extra life, it's easy for you to take it down. It's a very easy decision to make. In the end, Alchemist, he was making his brew, right? He was concocting, but sadly for him, Winter Wyvern was just there. Yeah, Winter Wyvern was just there and precasted the Winter's Curse on him. He wasn't even able to kill Always Wanna Fly. So, very unfortunate fight for them, and it looked like that was their only chance to come back, to crawl back into this game properly. Because right now you have Aghanims on Storm Spirit, you have level 20 with plus 30 attack speed, and that Aegis.
Pretty spooky. Not to mention the fact your Alk that had started building a net worth lead again is now even with the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, Iceberg is on fire.
It's not even his show anymore. I think this is now just trading hands. It's the VTune show now, right? Like the PL is untouchable at this stage.
But remember, the only time they actually killed the Storm was when they stole Doom. So it's all on you, Slayer. All eyes on Doom. Maybe if Rubik manages to steal it, they can take down Storm Spirit.
Maybe if he just casually walks up to the base, dooms a creep, and then stands there waiting for the steal. But that's unlikely to happen. So Astral, he's got his work cut out for him. He still doesn't have any big item. The A got the A for lens. There's no blink to jump in. And Fervian will jump out quickly before he dies.
Fervian and Bloodseeker TPing away because Big Bad Storm came. Both of them have to TP out.
This is also always the other pressure with Alk, right? It's like you need to farm. You're wasting your hero if you're not farming, which means you have to be a bit risky out of the base when you can see the FlyToMoon are just pushing in around this tier 2.
Yeah, usually what it means is, in this particular game, it means he's either going to have to pop the BKB to TP away, or he's going to get doomed. It's one of those two things.
That's the thing, even then, right? If you BKB TP, there are two BKB pierces, the Doom and the Winner's Curse, and
Basher now too on
could have played it off. Yeah, Meliul, he's just gone, no chance. And they throw out the Doom, they don't hesitate. Winner's Curse was used though on the Fervian, and that traps in the Rubik as well. So they're going to lose both supports alongside the Alchemist, and now it's just a matter of time. The GG comes out, FlyToMoon take game 1, and General celebrates by splurging his age all over the map.
Man, FlyToMoon just dominated them. They just showed them some stable old school CIS Dota right there. Nemiga boys, they tried something. Yeah, it's a bit cheesy, let's be honest. They went for the Alchemist, they went for the Bloodseeker, you know, they expected that the Alchemist is going to be able to do really well, but the problem was he was doubled by the Storm Spirit in CS by the 5th minute mark, so it's very difficult to play that Alchemist versus Storm, and Iceberg definitely demonstrated how that lane usually gets played out.
Yeah, it was definitely FlyToMoon clean-cut execution. Iceberg just making sure he exploited the weakness in Nemiga's draft. And it was a struggle to see where they were going to get an advantage. I mean, I like the idea of Bloodseeker, but this didn't feel like a Bloodseeker draft, right, Liz? There wasn't really pressure in the other lanes.
There was no pressure. right? Venomancer was the one that was suffering a little bit, but after that first blood on the Bloodseeker, he died a couple of times. But so what? It's a Venomancer. He's supposed to be dying. And Clockwork also was countered. It's an outdraft. When you look at the facts, it's an outdraft. Clockwork wasn't able to catch anyone, and he was a core. And it's not like they were outplaying him. It's just that his skill set doesn't allow him to kill Storm, Wyvern, or the PL. It was a difficult Clockwork game, and then also it was a very difficult Storm game. Game for Clockwork versus Storm. So, in any case, we're gonna go for a short break and we'll come back to game 2 of FlyToMoon versus Nemiga.